Hi everybody, my name's Jeffrey McMullen and I'm the owner of Pathfinder-UK, and I'd like to welcome you to this short video about the history of natural awareness. So I'll try and keep a bit of a long story short, but essentially I was working for a rehab company over in Kent who sent me over to Holland to work with some people over there who had an addiction with gaming, and this seemed like a good opportunity to get people out there in the woods, young lads, one was from Texas, and getting them engaging with nature by playing a few natural awareness games, which you all have come across it in my books. So we were out for the day and we were playing various games, and towards the end, after we did a process group around what occurred during that day, I wanted to explore with the guys how they saw the games and if there was a kind of name that they could come up with that would sort of sum up what it was that we were doing together. And essentially what I said to them was, back in the UK there's a lot of people who engage with what's known as nature awareness. Well, not just in the UK, but in America and Germany and other parts of the world as well. So nature awareness is essentially about, connecting with nature, understanding the animals, what they're saying to us, what habitat they live in, what kind of food they eat, and all that kind of stuff. So essentially, what's on the box is what you get. But there's a little bit more to it than that, from my perspective, and I'm pretty sure from many other people's perspectives as well. It's about that connection with nature, that relationship that we have with her. And one of the things I come across with one of the activities, like Find Your Tree, was a lot of people use this activity, and quite often people would get not confused, but would say, oh yeah, I've done that with somebody else and I've done it over there. But essentially what I'm looking for is to go deeper with the games, to look at people's behaviours. So the guys gave it a little bit of thought for a while, and one of the Dutch kids came up with the words natural awareness, which I have to say for me kind of really sat really nicely. I thought, oh yeah, I like the sound of that, because for me it is nature awareness, but it's looking at someone's behaviour while engaged with nature. So I said, okay, I'll sit with that for a while and just see where that takes me. So I allowed it to kind of percolate for a while, and I went back to the UK. Then some weeks later, I was taking some of the guys from the rehab down to Narcotics Anonymous for an evening meeting. And this was a closed meeting, so I couldn't go in. So I just sat outside in the minibus waiting for them to come back out. But as they left, one of the women gave me a book, to kind of pass the time away while I was sat in the van waiting for them. And this book was called At Home with God by Neil Donald Walsh. Now, Neil Donald Walsh had also written a book called Conversations with God, so that was his first book. Some of you may have heard of it, some of you may not have. But he's written a series of books, and essentially it's about him having a conversation with his creator as he understands him. So I sat there and I read the first chapter, and basically he's having a dialogue with the creator. And at one point in the chapter, he asks the big fella, as I like to call him, okay, so what's it all about? And the creator says, what's what all about? And Neil says, the meaning of life, the ultimate question, the answer to the universe. And the creator replied to him, all the answers to the universe are contained within your DNA. And DNA is an acronym for Divine Natural Awareness. Well, I have to tell you, at that moment, I felt like I'd been plugged into the wall. My whole body just kind of tingled and my hair stood on end, and I thought, this is it. This is what I'm going to call the work that I do, and the activities I use within that work. And so it was born, really, DNA. divine natural awareness. I have deliberately avoided the word divine, and maybe for obvious reasons, because when you're working with young people, I would say in particular, and certainly some adults, when you mention the word divine, it comes over as kind of religious, and this is not what it's about. This is about connecting us to nature on a heart level. You can call it spiritual if you like, but it's not religious. It's about having that understanding. What's my relationship with myself in nature? What's my relationship with you in nature? And what's my relationship with the big fella in nature, as I like to call him? And you can add a third one to that should you so wish, but it is essentially about looking at our behaviours and looking at our relationships with each other. So it's kind of like a shared journey, and I always see this kind of work as a shared journey, because I have as much to learn from the whole process as do the guys that I'm working with, and you guys when you come to putting the games into practice. So that's essentially why it's called natural awareness, DNA. So of course I substituted divine for discover, because that is what it's again all about. It's a discovery. We go on a journey together. We explore these things and see where it takes us.